You wake up face down on warm, golden sand, the grains still holding the heat of an unfamiliar sun. The ocean is breathtaking. Crystal clear turquoise water sparkling under two suns that feel just slightly off. For one blissful heartbeat, your groggy mind convinces you that you've been dropped into the ultimate tropical paradise, maybe even heaven. Then reality punches you in the gut. The trees behind you don't belong on any earth you know. They tower 150 feet tall with bizarre fern-like umbrella canopies, and trunks wrapped in thick, writhing alien vines that seem to pulse. The air is oppressively thick and humid, carrying a choking cocktail of metallic ozone, rotting vegetation, faint sulfur, and something sweet yet nauseating. No familiar salty ocean breeze mixed with pine. This isn't your planet. This is deep time. And then you see it. A massive silhouette the size of a yellow school bus stands perfectly motionless in the tree line. Eyes locked directly onto you. Those eyes aren't empty. They reflect cold, intelligent calculation, already mapping your weak points, your speed, your inevitable end. Prehistoric predators were never mindless killing machines. They were the absolute pinnacle of hundreds of millions of years of ruthless evolutionary arms races. Every tooth, claw, sense, and hunting strategy was honed to perfection to exploit fear, exhaustion, panic, and pain. If even one of these creatures existed in our world today, human civilization would collapse within days. In this video, we're doing something different. We're not just naming monsters. We're dropping you into their world, moment by terrifying, sensory, blood-soaked moment. How would each predator locate you? How would it chase you? How exactly would it break your body and end your life? Buckle up. This one's going to stay with you. Your panicked brain screams the only survival rule you know. Get to the water. You stagger into the shallows up to your knees. The cool liquid feels refreshingly shocking against your sweat-drenched skin. Fatal mistake. The sunlight filtering through the water suddenly dies. A colossal shadow surges upward like a living submarine. Xiphactinus audax, the sword ray, explodes toward you. 20 feet long, over 1,000 pounds of streamlined bony fish muscle, with a massive bulldog head and a gape wide enough to swallow a grown man whole. Its mouth is lined with rows of sharp, conical teeth angled backward, like vicious fish hooks designed to prevent escape. This apex predator ruled the vast western interior seaway, a warm inland ocean that split North America in two for millions of years. It can surge to an estimated 37 km in short bursts, faster than any human swimmer on Earth. Its strategy was brutally simple: ram, engulf, swallow. No chewing, no mercy. Paleontologists discovered one legendary fossil of a 20-foot Xiphactinus with an almost perfectly intact 6-foot Gillicus fish still inside its stomach. Swallowed head first. The prey fought so violently that it ruptured the predator's internal organs, killing both in one of the most spectacular cases of mutual destruction ever found. Now it's you. Jaws wider than your shoulders clamped down with bone-crushing force. You feel ribs creak and pop, skin tear under backward-pointing teeth. Then you're sliding down a dark, pulsating, slimy throat. Still fully conscious, you tumble into a churning chamber of digestive acid. And half-digested fish remains while the monster that ate you is already dying from its own catastrophic greed. Slow, claustrophobic, burning, humiliating, death by indigestion in the Cretaceous seas. Water is now eternally removed from your survival options. Coughing violently, choking on salt water in pure terror, You drag your battered body back onto the beach. Then comes the heavy rustling in the coastal brush. Out steps a creature that shatters every modern assumption about crocodiles. A 10-foot beast standing tall and upright on powerful limbs ending in blunt hooves instead of claws. Prehistoric, the Eocene saw-mouthed crocodile. This wasn't a lazy swamp ambush predator. It was a fast, terrestrial pursuit hunter built like a reptilian wolf or hyena. Long legs gave it real running speed, and even possible short galloping bursts. Its teeth were revolutionary, flattened, highly serrated, blade-like, specifically engineered like steak knives to slice flesh and shear through bone on dry land. It spots you instantly. Hooves tear into the sand as it charges with terrifying agility. No death roll, no dragging you underwater. It simply runs you down and begins carving precise, devastating slashes across your back, shoulders, and legs. Blood sprays in bright arcs across the prehistoric sand while the creature methodically works toward vital arteries and organs. The Eocene was evolution's wild creative laboratory, and this hoofed land crocodile was one of its most successful and nightmarish experiments. Completely desperate, you time jump even further back, 450 million years ago to the Ordovician period. Surely, things were simpler then, you pray. Shallow, ancient seas. No fish yet. Just harmless trilobites crawling peacefully on the seafloor. You slip underwater, heart rate finally slowing. A 3-foot armored nightmare emerges from the sediment cloud. Megalograptus, one of the largest eurypterids. It needed no venom. It weaponized pure mechanical destruction. Massive, spined raptorial front appendages lined with razor-sharp edges. For raking and tearing flesh, paired with a specialized tail ending in grasping blades that acted like living vice grips, to pin prey in place while the front claws systematically shredded it into pieces. Fossilized coprolites and gut contents prove it was a frequent cannibal, happily devouring its own relatives. The Ordovician oceans had already perfected underwater butchery tools tens of millions of years before trees ever appeared on land. You came seeking safety and deep time and found the original inventor of the underwater chainsaw. Back on land in Cretaceous Patagonia, thorny scrubland stretches endlessly. 30 yards away stands a 16 to 20-foot feathered theropod with comically tiny arms. Austroraptor cabezai. For one desperate second you think, tiny arms, maybe I have a chance. That illusion dies instantly. The reduced arms meant every other system received massive evolutionary upgrades. Its long snout was packed with conical teeth evolved specifically for gripping slippery, struggling prey. Exactly like your sweat-soaked, panic-stricken body. But the true killing weapons were on its feet. Enormous, retractable sickle claws nearly the length of your hand, curved like Turkish scimitars and razor-sharp. It accelerates on powerful hind legs built for sustained pursuit. No wrestling, no prolonged fight. It simply sprints past and delivers devastating kicks. One slash across your thigh severs major arteries in a spray of bright red. A second kick opens your abdomen. You collapse in the dirt. The predator doesn't rush in to feed. It circles slowly, head tilted with cold curiosity, patiently waiting for blood loss, shock, and exhaustion to finish its work. Southern Hemisphere raptors proved you don't need big arms when your feet are perfectly designed for surgical murder. Bleeding heavily, barely able to stand, you spot a dark limestone cave opening. Shelter at last. You stagger inside without clearing it first. The classic, fatal mistake. 10 feet in, a wall of hot, heavy breath washes over your face. Your eyes adjust to reveal a 25-foot tyrannosaurid staring directly at you. This is Dryptosaurus aquilungus, the tearing lizard from the late Cretaceous of eastern North America, separated from western T-Rex by an inland sea. Unlike later tyrannosaurs, its arms were long, powerfully muscled, and fully functional, ending in three-fingered hands armed with 8-inch sharply curved talons. It attacked with a deadly combo, powerful jaws for the crushing bite while the arms grabbed, pinned, and slashed simultaneously. Grab, hold, rip, bite, repeat. You found the tyrannosaur that still carried its complete deadly toolkit before evolution went all in on massive heads and tiny arms. The cave's resident enforces its strict no-roommate policy with extreme, bloody prejudice. Through some miracle, you escape the cave. Late Cretaceous India, an isolated island continent. Dense vegetation rustles ahead. For some inexplicable reason, you walk toward the sound. Rajasaurus narmadensis erupts from cover like a living tank. 22 to 30 feet long, 3 to 4 tons. It had an incredibly reinforced skull and neck muscles, built like a biological wrecking ball. It bites down with bone-crushing force, then thrashes violently, side to side. Fossils preserve deep tooth marks and crushed bones on prey. It reigned as absolute God. You lasted roughly 4 seconds once those jaws locked. Madagascar, 166 million years ago. A quadrupedal T-Rex shape approaches steadily on land. It's Razanandrongobe sacalave, a massive, land-walking crocodilomorph, armed with 6-inch serrated, recurved teeth, almost identical to tyrannosaurs. Tooth-wear patterns prove it regularly crunched through heavy bone and tendon. It outcompeted actual dinosaurs for the apex predator role on an isolated landmass, a crocodile that evolved dinosaur-level weaponry and decided water was optional. Utah, 98 million years ago. You spot a horse-sized juvenile tyrannosaur. You foolishly think you can scare it away with noise and rocks. It bolts, because something far worse is approaching. Cyots meekerorum, a colossal carcharodontosaur reaching 33 to 40 feet and 4 to 5+ tons. Long arms with sharp claws and teeth built for slashing deep, bleeding wounds. It specialized in persistence hunting, trailing massive sauropod herds for hours or even days, waiting patiently for any sign of weakness, injury, or separation. Then it would strike, open in massive gashes before retreating. Blood loss and exhaustion did the rest. This monster kept early tyrannosaurs small and subordinate for millions of years. You hid behind a rock that was far too small. It already knew you were easy prey. Early Cretaceous Texas open plains. You notice massive, three-toed trackways in the mud, at least 3 individuals moving in coordinated formation. You look up. 3 Acrocanthosaurus stop and fix their gaze on you. They worked as a highly coordinated team to isolate even giant sauropods, slashing legs and flanks in rotation, then safely retreating to avoid dangerous kicks. Each bite removed pounds of flesh. Blood loss mounted relentlessly until the victim collapsed. The tall spines likely helped with visual signaling and intimidation during the hunt. You are standing directly in their active hunting corridor. The flanking maneuver has already begun. The asteroid finally falls. Dinosaurs vanish. Miocene Africa, 22 million years ago. You hear heavy, wet breathing behind a massive termite mound. Simbakubwa kutukafrika, big lion of Africa, emerges. Over 8 feet long, 2,200 to 3,000+ pounds. Its mouth was a biological meat processor, 3 full sets of serrated carnassial slicing teeth. One single bite could excise 30-plus pounds of flesh and shatter heavy bones simultaneously. It simply grabbed, processed, and followed while the victim died slowly. It ruled its ecosystem unchallenged until true saber-toothed cats eventually displaced it. From being dissolved alive inside a greedy fish's stomach to being carved apart on dry land, to shredded by knife-handed sea scorpions, to systematically hunted down by intelligent packs. Every single era of Earth's history crafted something perfectly engineered to end human life, in the most efficient, creative, and nightmarish ways imaginable. We are ridiculously, almost unfairly lucky that they're all extinct, but studying them, learning exactly how they would have destroyed us, it's terrifying, humbling, and utterly addictive. It reminds us how precarious survival has always been, and how magnificent, strange, and brutal the story of life is. If this deep dive made your heart race, destroy that like button, subscribe, turn on notifications, and tell me right now in the comments, which prehistoric predator should I cover next? Follow me on TikTok and Instagram for daily bite-sized prehistoric terror and facts. Stay curious, stay alive in this timeline, and for the love of everything, always check the damn cave.